Hello everyone, Jeff Evers here. I got 8 o'clock straight up. We are ready to get our broadcast started. I want to welcome everybody to the broadcast tonight. We're going to be covering a little bit about our pattern, our 8-step pattern that you can use to build a home-based business. And before I get into the details of the pattern, let me do the old disclaimer that what I'm about to share with you is not a guarantee of income. It's merely an example of income based on our comp plan. Your success will be dependent upon what you do, and there is no product purchase requirement to get involved with us. And again, for everybody who's on board with us tonight, if you do have any questions, feel free to enter them in the little chat box down below. You should have a little slider button at the bottom of your browser. Go ahead and click on that. That'll open up a little area where you can put your questions. Go ahead and submit your questions. Hit send message. We'll have them here, and we'll be more than happy to answer them at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and get the webcam on. Cool. Hope everybody can see me okay. And again, I want to welcome everybody to the broadcast tonight. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our 8-step pattern. And as you've gone through our website already and our training system, you realize that there's 3 key components that make network marketing work. There's the individual, there's the company, and there's the system. And the system is actually made up of 2 components. One of the components is the pattern, and that's the process that you use to put people in your team. It's the process you use to put people into your business. And then there's a system part of the system, and that's the process you use to teach people the pattern. It's the process you use to help people become who they need to become so they can get their dreams. And it's also the process that creates the glue that keeps people in. And we have a very simple pattern. Everybody can do it. And I'm going to go ahead and zip through the pattern real quick, but then break it down in detail. And I'm going to give you maybe just a few suggestions on what you can do to keep on track. The first step of our pattern is identify the dream. And I know a lot of people, when they hear this, they think that's all fluff. But I hope you realize that the dream, when we talk about the dream, we're talking about the dream for the builders. And again, if you've gone through with our marketing 101, you realize that we got builders, we got buyers, and we got consumers. The consumers, their needs are consumer needs, and they buy products, they meet their needs. So the dream is really not important for the consumer and the buyers. The buyers have a hope that they can become successful, but they're not really yet willing to work. So what they really do is they buy and they have hope. The people that really need to have their dream in front of them are the builders. And so the builders, their primary motivating factor to participate is to get their dreams, is to get something that they want that they can't get doing what they're doing. And so when we tell you the first step of the pattern is to identify your dream, if you're a builder, you have to know what you want, you have to know why you want it, and you have to know how you're going to feel when you get it. And if you can identify that, and it can become part of you, okay, and then all of a sudden the dream becomes real. Once your subconscious mind takes ownership of the dream, that it is you, then the path to attainment is given to you. And we've heard this before. If you read any books, listened to any audios, or watched any videos on the individual psychic and the profiles of people, you'll find that we always act as a people. We act consistently, based upon our self-concept. So if you always act in a manner that's consistent with your self-concept, if you want to change who you are to become who you need to become, you got to change your self-concept. And the way you do that is by defining a dream. What you'll find is that the dream is a visualization. It's an affirmation of something you'd like to have. You know what it is, you know why you want it, you know how you feel you're going to get it. And when you submit that into your subconscious mind, where your mind starts to see it as being real, then all of a sudden you create this like a cognitive dissonance within the brain. So your body, like for example, let's say you have a dream of having an Audi, but let's say you're driving a Buick. Okay, so the subconscious mind doesn't know what's real, doesn't know what's imagined. It only knows its job is to carry out what it's supposed to do. Okay, your subconscious mind keeps you breathing. Your subconscious mind keeps your heart beating. If your subconscious mind sees you as a person who's driving a Buick, then you're going to be driving a Buick. But if the subconscious mind sees you as a person who's driving an Audi, driving a Mercedes, driving a luxury car, then the subconscious mind will go to work to create it and have that become a reality. So you, through discipline, through visualization, through imagination, you then can create this mindset, and you can have it become an almost like just overwhelm your brain, overwhelm your subconscious with that vision of your dream. And so the first step, and if you read Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he says, whatever a person can conceive, then believe, the person can achieve. Well, the conceiving part is where you take the time to figure out what you want, why you want, how you feel, and you're going to get it. The way you create the belief is by visualizing it on a repetitive basis. And Napoleon Hill said, when you take that thought impulse and you back it with an emotion, it then magnetizes that thought impulse to manifest a physical equivalence. So really all he's talking about is once you take the time to identify your dream, then what you want to do is you want to immediately back it with faith, and faith is an action. It's something that you're doing to prove to the subconscious mind that this dream is real. So you visualize yourself driving an Audi. As soon as you visualize yourself driving an Audi and you affirm it and you visualize it, then you take a step in faith towards it. And so the first step of the pattern is to identify that dream. And then the second step of the pattern is to make some commitments. And we're talking about commitments of time and commitments of money. And I'll walk you through exactly what I'm talking about in detail. But to me, is always a qualifying question when I sit down with someone and I say, hey, listen, do you have some things you want and you can't get doing what you're doing? They say, yeah. Then I say, well, what are they? Why do you want it? How are you going to feel? Are you going to get it? Then my next step of the pattern is, well, would you be willing to commit to throw in $150 a month out of your pocket, for 2 or 3 months, and put 5 to 6 hours a week into your business for 2 or 3 months to get your dream? And if someone's not willing to do that, see, the problem is not the business. The problem is not Better Life Co-op. The problem is that individual doesn't have a dream that's big enough that they're willing to commit something to. And again, the reason I talk about $150 out of your pocket. Now you could get by only doing it one time, but I always tell guys, hey, would you be willing to throw $150 a month in for 2 or 3 months? And would you be willing to put in 5 or 6 hours a week for 2 or 3 months? And that is the commitment step I'm looking for. And then once they begin and they say, okay, I'll be willing to do that, then I'll say, then here's what you got to do. You got to take that dream that you want to have, you got to visualize, you got to affirm, and then immediately that you visualize and you affirm and you see yourself and you feel it, you got to go ahead and take a step. You got to act. You got to do something. Okay, whether that's send out an email, whether that's pick up a phone, whether it's to do something. Okay, you got to do something to prove to the subconscious mind that this vision is real. Because you got to realize that your subconscious mind thinks you're driving a Buick, then all of a sudden you tell your subconscious mind you're driving, a Mercedes. Okay, so it doesn't know which one's real, and the one you move towards is the one. All of a sudden, the subconscious mind says, this is the real one." And so what happens is then hunches will come to you as far as the path to attain that dream. So you got to get the dream first, and then you got to make the commitment of time and money. And I tell, and again, my qualifying question is, somebody wants to work with me, okay, they want me to work with them, probably more so than work with me, is that are they willing to throw in $150 a month for 2 or 3 months? Are they willing to put in 5 or 6 hours a week for 2 or 3 months to get their dream? And if they say yes, then the next step of the pattern is to set some goals. Now, what we like to teach in the Better Life Co-op is some real simple goals. Everybody's goal is fundamentally the same, and that's get 4. Okay, there are a lot of misconceptions within network marketing where people think you need to have a lot of people to make a lot of money. And even though you need a lot of people in your organization, you don't personally need to bring in a lot of people. You just bring in 4 people. Okay, and the reason we pick 4, it's simple, because people can believe 4. Okay, and I kind of like it because in a deck of 52 cards, there's 4 aces. Okay, and there's 16 face cards. Okay, and there's 32, nines, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3s, and 2s. And so what we try to teach everybody is that, hey, you're looking for the 4 aces. You get 4. Okay, then you teach those 4 how to get 4. When you teach those 4 how to get 4, you run that down through 7 levels, you got 21,000 builders. Okay, I look at the aces as the builders, I look at the face cards as the buyers, and I look at the 9s through the 2s as the consumers. Okay, so if you want to make a lot of money in network marketing, identify your dream, visualize, affirm, then take a step in faith, act, commit to $150 out of your pocket for 2 or 3 months, commit to 5 to 6 hours a week for 2 or 3 months, and then set a goal and go get your 4. Now that we've got the goal set, the next step is we have to put together an action plan. You need to have a big enough list of names where you feel comfortable you can get your 4. Now, we know most of the people who are in this industry, especially if you've been around for a while, you've probably have tried to build a network marketing business, and again, like it said on our site, nobody's ever taught you how to drive. So you went off and you've crashed and you burned and you probably messed up a lot of your prospects. So there's a lot of us who really don't have access, to our warm market because we already blew them up. And so what we've done is that we contract with a publisher that will provide for you 100 qualified prospects every month. This publisher, they post advertisements, they got websites. People go to these advertisements, they click, and then these advertisements are for people who are looking to make money from home. So every month we'll give you 100. We also got a capture page in the autoresponder system, and so you'll email out to this list of 100 prospects, and you follow it up with a phone call. We'll give you the scripts, what to say. And then you also have a video webinar system like you're on right now. And so you have all these components, and again, that costs $150 a month. And so so your goal is to use these tools that we created to help you get your 4 people. And again, what you do is you use these tools to get 4 people, and then you want to teach them how to actually build a team of people. Okay, so remember, the goal is we want to teach you how to drive before we throw you the keys to your company. Okay, so you got your dream identified, you got you affirmed, you visualized, and you took a step in faith. You committed, $150 a month for 2 or 3 months. You committed 5 or 6 hours a week, and then you set a goal to get 4. Then you took the list of names, and then you contacted that list of names, sent out an email, followed with a phone call. And there's 3 sets of emails, 3 sets of phone calls. You let them go to the autoresponder. The autoresponder warms them up. They eventually, what will happen is, we call it the attitude of advertising. The first time somebody's exposed to something, they're completely unaware, they're oblivious of what the exposure is. It's like when you're driving down the street, how many times you got to go by that billboard before you even notice the billboard is there? And then finally, when you do notice it, do you actually read it? Do you actually see the message? Nope, you got to go through several more times before you actually see the message. And then finally, you become aware of it. And then all of a sudden, now you become aware of it. Now all of a sudden, you're curious about it. All of a sudden, you're moved to act. And so just realize that this would teach you the process of business, how to expose, how to get people involved, how to get them to upgrade. But you're looking for 4. We'll give you 100 qualified prospects every month. Follow the system we put together to contact the ones that are interested. And then the ones that are open to know more, you send them to the Better Life Co-op website, the betterlifecoop.net website, and let that teach them how to drive. You notice we haven't even talked about sending anybody to your company page yet, your company replicated website, because we don't want to send them to that website too soon, because it's no different than if you got a brand new Mercedes, you got a brand new Ferrari. You wouldn't throw the keys to somebody unless you knew for sure they could drive. So our program is simple. Get your dream in front of you, affirm, visualize, see yourself in possession of it, then have a step in faith, commit to the $150 a month, commit to 5 or 6 hours a week, and set the goal to get 4, get the list broker program, send out the autoresponders, the emails, do a video webinar system, and then send the interested open people to the website, and then you follow through with them. You say, hey, listen, have you had a chance to go through the getting started page? Have you had a chance to go through the marketing 101? Have you had a chance to go through the pattern page? Make sure they go through all of the pages, and once they get through all the pages, make sure they understand how to drive. Do that before you send them to your company. And here's what's really cool is that when you get 4 people who say, yep, I want to do this, and they all decide to come in for $150, just on the tools that we've put together to teach people how to drive, that will make you $151 a month. So all of a sudden what happens is when you get your 4, you don't have to pay you still pay the $150 a month, but you don't have to pay it out of your pocket anymore, because you got $151 deposited in your e-wallet. So the money to pay for your $150 a month comes from the 4 you got in. Then when those 4 get 4, the same thing happens to them. They got $151 worth of profit, so they're covered. And here's what's crazy: you make almost $1,000 a month at that point. So just think, if you get 4 and they get 4, you're knocking down $1,000 a month. What if you got everybody making $1,000 a month before you introduced them to your company's products? How many more people do you think would have success in building your company if they already were making $1,000 when they decided to get in? So our program is simple. Identify your dream, and make some commitments. Set some goals. Get a list of names together. Contact the ones. Get the ones who are interested to go through the website. Follow up and follow through with the people to get through all the website. And then you just teach this pattern to everybody you bring in. That's our pattern, guys. And again, we'll do another presentation. We'll cover the system, how the system works, how you use the system to teach people the pattern. In fact, is the BLC, the BetterLifeCoop.net website is part of that system. But this little presentation will be posted in the pattern section of the website, and you just get people watching this. So what happens is the tools will do all the teaching, because this is not a sales business. This is a teaching business. And because the tools do all the teaching, anyone can use the tools. Anyone can do this. Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and close the recording down.